Sandrock, and in this session, we're going to cover Sustainable Development Goal number 3, good health and well-being, and we're going to be looking at comfort levels and living in habitats. Why is this important? Well, when we travel in space or live in habitats, we need to make sure that we are comfortable. In other words, that we will certainly be able to survive for a very long period of time. This topic relates to Sustainable Development Goal number 3, good health and well-being. And in this experimental challenge, we will see how comfortable our own living conditions are and compare these conditions to those with the team living on Antarctica. Let's first have a look at heat index, and we can see here that there's a chart that relates to heat index. And really what it is that we are comparing temperature in degrees centigrade with relative humidity as a percentage. And your Sustainable Development Goal weather sensor will give you exactly these two parameters. Living organisms can tolerate ranges of temperature and air humidity. And this graph shows the heat index as the temperature and humidity increase. So we can see that the lines are changing color. So what is really comfortable is when the temperature is below 30 degrees centigrade. As soon as we go above 40 degrees centigrade, we start becoming uncomfortable, and it goes through a range where over 45 degrees centigrade, it's dangerous, and over 54 degrees centigrade, we could have a look at heat stroke. And we can see that these lines also relate to relative humidity. The purple lines are the most comfortable and the yellow lines are the least comfortable. So here is an example of a chart, and this was actually plotted for Honolulu in Hawaii. And we can see there that Hawaii was voted the most comfortable place to live in the world in 2019. So this is a pretty apt chart to use. So we can see here what the comfort levels are. We are most comfortable in this middle section, which is sort of blue-green. And we can see that depending on the season, whether it's winter or summer, we either prefer it colder and more humid, or warmer and slightly drier. So yes, this chart shows the ranges for one location, and it shows the conditions for winter and summer. So let's actually have a look at what happens on Antarctica. So these are the conditions inside the habitat on Antarctica. And we can see from the top right-hand corner that this data was collected between the beginning of April and the end of July. And since it's Antarctica, that is southern hemisphere, so this would be during the southern hemisphere winter. It would definitely be a lot colder than 10 degrees outside the habitat. So this is how we know that the data was collected inside the habitat. So 10 to 17 degrees, not very, very uncomfortable, not comfortable, let's put it that way, but not dangerously low temperatures. However, look at this relative humidity of 10 to 20% relative humidity. So if we were to then take that chart and compare it, for example, this would be very uncomfortable for Hawaiians to be on Antarctica, because both the relative humidity and the temperature would be way out of their comfort zone. So the temperature would be very much too cold, and the relative humidity, it would be extremely dry for them. So what is this challenge, and what is the experiment we'd like you to conduct? In the first part, we'd like you to create your own plot of this graph with the temperatures and humidity of where you live. So what you can do is you can actually go to maybe a weather app, or otherwise you can just Google it and see on Wikipedia for the city or the town where you live, what is the average maximum and minimum temperature per year, per season, whatever it may be. And you can also probably find the data for relative humidity as well. So you can actually then change the data on this chart so that you actually develop your own chart. In part 2, you're going to use this chart that you've developed for yourself, as well as your weather station, to measure the temperature and relative humidity in as many rooms as possible. Plot your findings on your comfort level chart, and which room are you most comfortable in? And are you a winter or a summer person based on your choice of room? So what we'd like you to do is submit this assignment as your submission for the challenge. Thank you very much, and see you in the next topic.